Marshall.
There's about 300,000 Russian recruits that Putin is willing to throw into this meat-grinding bloodbath machine of his. And it looks like that's going to happen in only a few weeks' time. Stalin is quoted as saying that quantity has a quality all of its own. They can basically lose more men than Ukraine. Putting 120 tanks in their way, the Ukrainians said they needed 300, but 120 will blunt those attacks at a great human cost to Russian people, most of whom don't want to be there.
There is also the danger that with those 120 tanks coming from multiple NATO members, that the Russians will view this as an expansion of the conflict, which is, of course, one big reason it's taken so long for agreement to be struck on their supply. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
To recap the top stories, Ukraine has been hit by another wave of missile strikes just hours after Germany and the US confirmed they would send main battle tanks to the country. The American Food and Drug Administration has confirmed it's working with the World Health Organization to probe the deaths of scores of children believed to be linked to contaminated cough syrup. And French refinery workers have started a 48-hour strike in protest against the government's planned pension reforms. That's the latest feature story news. Laura Macon-Isherwood reporting.
Tell us we will die like dogs. What? Tell us we will die like dogs.
You will die like dogs.
No, we will not die like dogs. We will fight like lions because we are the Three Amigos.
Good morning. It's KCHW 102.7, 724. You got the Three Amigos in the house. And guys, today, a special guest. The mayor is actually going to join the Three Amigos. What is he thinking?
He knows what side his bread is buttered on.
Yeah, you think so? Huh? Okay.
Maybe.
All right. Yeah, apologies for yesterday. We had technical difficulties. We had a computer down at the station I couldn't log into. And then I went and he was working out a fix, and I was just about ready to go live, and the second computer crashed. So I had bad luck yesterday. All right.
Yikes.
Hello, boys. Are you there? Good morning. All right, you guys drink your coffee? You ready to go?
I'm drinking it now. Something. Today I actually brought my whole coffee pot with me. I have it sitting next to me. So we're good to go.
It's going to be a red letter day for Chuck.
And Alan, you got your IV in?
I do, sir.
All right. Real quick, weather-wise, let's see if there's any comet watching possible for Chihuahua. First today, 36 degrees. A few snow showers scattered about the area this morning. Otherwise, good deal of clouds, 30% chance of precip. Down to 31 tonight with snow showers becoming steady, it says, and accumulation of snow late night of 3 inches, 80% chance of precip over the nighttime hours. For your Friday, 40 and 26, partly cloudy. So that means you might have a chance to catch that comet. Now, today is the day for the best viewing. And we'll cover that a little bit later, but it'll be to the north by the Big Dipper. I was confused last week. I thought I got an early glimpse of it, but it turned out it was the SpaceX rocket. Left a really cool fluorescent blue spiral and a dot in the sky, which was pretty cool. I thought it was aliens or perhaps the comet, but it wasn't.
Aliens aren't coming here.
Yes. I don't know why.
There's no intelligent life.
No signs.
They might come here, but they'd go, nah, and leave.
I wonder if you're approaching Earth and you're in a spaceship, if there's a big billboard out in space that says turn back now.
It's a wrong turn.
Whoa.
Yeah. All right. 40 and 26 for Friday with partly cloudy skies. Maybe some comet catching that night. 17%. They say you'll be able to see it with the naked eye, but a pair of binoculars will be better. And your chance is going to go through the 1st of February, so and a little bit past that. So on Saturday and Sunday, you've got some great chances of comet viewing during the nighttime, of course. 29 and 6 on Saturday. So some morning clouds, but then afternoon sun and a clear night. Sunday, clear skies, 21 and 2. That's 2.
Cold again.
All right.
Wow.
Alan, make sure you leave a faucet dripping in the building because that used to be my job.
Yeah, I'll do something.
Okay. Monday, 19 and 6. Oh, man. All right. Warms up a little bit by the time I get there because, well, I'm hot.
Global warming is Scott's fault.
I see what you did there.
Oops. All right. Let's
But
take.
you know, one thing that I love is you can now see in the extended forecast. You can see the beginning of spring in the extended forecast, and that's like some little light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, it slowly warms up through the month,
Yeah.
so look forward to
Yeah.
that. Looking at the kids' day, what they get to eat for breakfast is pancakes, sausage, fruit juice, and your choice of milk. And then for lunchtime today, chicken quesadilla, corn, fresh veggies, fresh fruit, and again, your choice of milk. All right, getting that stuff out of the way. Lots of horrible news today. One of the, we heard some before we came on, but then also we have a notification that gas prices are going to jump again. Due to China ramping up after opening up, their COVID restrictions. So look for that. And then for some reason, refineries haven't upped their production here in the United States, and it's going to cause gas prices to jump again. So, all right. Once
Chuck,
again,
you're safe. You have a hybrid.
Yeah. Once again, so I can close that window
Once
out.
a month, whether I need it or not. It's filled.
Look, I topped off $4. Darn it. All right.
I put $30 in it yesterday. That was a big day.
So just one more time to catch the comet, it'll be by the Little Dipper. Look to the north. All right. And I am not the Little Dipper.
Although that was your nickname in high school.
It was my nickname in high school. It's actually my nickname has came out over the air, but I will not. I never share it. I'll never do it. My sister's thrown me under the bus a few times, but no.
Was it Captain Awesome?
The other
It was
Captain Awesome? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. Now you got me so excited I lost my train of thought.
I have that effect on people.
Oh, it was one more bad news story before we get into some fun stuff and then the actual news stories. And one of that bad news story was Margie Taylor Greene wants to be Trump's running mate for vice president. That'd be like doubling down, wouldn't it?
On what?
Doubling down on dumb comments.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you, Alan.
Yeah.
I'm not going to want to know where you were trying to go with that.
No,
all right.
I had no direction.
I like the Thursday thing where we start off with some bad jokes, and I got some bad jokes for us this morning, and so do you guys. We'll do the round robin. Chuck's on top. Why don't you start, Chuck? We'll go Chuck, Alan, and then I'll do one.
All right. Are we starting with the wake up jokes this morning?
Yes, please.
Since we're trying to wake up here.
Yep.
Yeah. So reason I don't trust joggers.
Okay.
They're usually the ones to find the dead bodies.
Oh, that's a true story.
It's always the joggers.
Yes, it is.
True story.
Joggers are killers.
So I changed the horn on my Harley.
You did?
Yep. Now it sounds like gunshots. You'd be amazed how fast people move out of my way. Yeah.
I got one for you guys. Do you know the joke where all the idiots say no?
Yes.
No. Alan, you threw it up. Stick to the script, man.
Oh, Chuck cheated. Yeah, all right. It's you, Chuck.
No, I used to breed rabbits, but then I realized they can handle that all by themselves.
Whoa.
Ew.
You guys know what you get when you crossbreed a cow and a shark? I don't know either, and I'm sure I would not enjoy melting it.
It's got teeth.
It's got teeth.
Back in high school in Chihuahua, I got 50 cents for every failed math exam. So far, I have 633.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll never forget my dad's last words. Will you stop playing with that bow and arrow?
Poor dad.
That's like that joke where he says,
I used to be a dad till I took an arrow to the neck.
I want to die like my grandpa did in his sleep, not like everybody else in the car screaming.
Yeah. I love that one.
Yeah.
I think I know why birds don't sing in the morning.
Or you mean why they do sing?
Yes, why they do sing in the morning.
Okay.
Because they don't have to go to work.
Exactly.
Yes.
There's a certain benefit to writing the jokes.
Loves going to work. Look at that happy face.
All right. Question for you guys. What do you call a boomerang that doesn't come back?
I don't know, Scott.
A steak.
A
steak. A steak. All right. Sorry. I didn't say they were good jokes.
I saw this sweet, poor old lady fall down the stairs and hurt herself. At least I assume she was poor because I didn't find more than $3.50 in her purse.
Oh. If you only had 50 cents for every time that happened.
I know, right? I'd have $18.25.
Right.
I've fallen and I can't get up and Chuck pushed me. Yeah.
You know, I hate it when I run out of toilet paper and I have to make the trip to the grocery store in really small steps.
I like to watch you, though.
It's called the squeeze and shuffle.
Neighbor's kids challenged me to a water fight. I'm just checking Facebook quickly before the kettle boils.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ow. Ow.
That sounds horrible.
It does. For them.
Recently, I introduced two of my friends with a lisp to each other. It was after a short but rough first bit, they realized that neither one was mocking the other one.
It's a throwdown.
Have you making fun of me?
Listen, man, will you stop it? I can't stop it. I'm sorry. It's just the way I talk.
I have a friend, and it's so hard not to tease him because he just got like new teeth, but they don't fit. So that's how he talks.
Oh, no. The teeth are getting in the way.
Yeah.
So did you know that even people that are good for nothing have the capacity to bring a smile to your face? For instance, when you push them down the steps.
Oh, again. That's two.
I did not like that
one. Damn it! All right. Yeah, I like that. All right. We did it last week, and it was such a joy for Scott. I'm going to let him do it one more time. It's insults for Scott. Who wants to start insulting me?
I'll start.
Okay.
Scott, you're so small. You could use a pillow as your bed and still have some wiggle room.
It's kind of true.
Hey, Scott.
Yeah?
You're so short, people tend to hug your head more than your body.
I mean, that could be a benefit.
That could be a benefit.
I had a really tall friend. He was like, believe it or not, I had a friend. And he was like, I don't know, 6'7". He was absolutely huge. And whenever he saw me, he would pick me up like a little kid and spin me around. It was humiliating.
You poor guy.
My little feet were flying like that swing at the carnival.
Hey, free carnival ride. How can you beat
that? Same guy at a scary Halloween, what do you call them, haunted house. And my daughter's like, she wanted to go. She's like 10, but now she's petrified. And we're walking in and it starts to get really scary. And she throws my hand. She's holding my hand. And she throws my hand down and grabs his. The tall big guy.
Oh, wow.
I was like, wow, my kid just like threw me under the bus because I wasn't big enough.
Insult to injury.
Yeah. All right, bring it on.
Yeah. Yes. Scott, you're so short. I hope the next stage of your life comes with a ladder.
Aw.
With steps that are really close together.
Aw.
We can get you one of those telescopic ones. You can just keep it with you like a backpack.
Nice.
What's the ladder for? Don't ask. I might need to reach something.
I'm tired of people hugging my head.
Oh, that'd be great. Even like a 2-step one, I could take it down, set it up, and then give a hug.
I think people would figure out what it's for pretty quickly, Scott.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Scott, you're so short. Coming down the stairs must feel like skydiving for you.
Wow.
And falling down them feels like a slinky.
Because I'm free falling.
All right.
Scott.
Yes.
Did you know you're so short that we could sweep you under your bed while you're still standing?
Ooh.
It's like my basement. I always wanted a basement. All right.
Wow. Oh, all that
the word crawl space doesn't have any meaning to Scott.
Oh man, it's rough.
Scott, you're so short, it's going to be easy to bury you. All we need to do is find the correct shoe box. Wow.
Size 9.
Wow. That was so brutal, I felt it over here.
I can take it. Chuck,
Scott,
we need a cattle prod for Chuck. Chuck, it's your turn.
Scott,
yes,
you are the literal definition of down to earth.
Aw,
thank you.
He's so down to earth. Can't find a more down to earth guy. Seriously, literally.
Oh, Scott. You know you're small when you can do pull-ups on a door handle. Wow.
Who are we kidding?
I'm like a cat trying to open the door.
Jump, Scotty, jump.
But he's really cute when he arches his back and does a really long step.
I got it.
Yeah, whenever I insult Scott, though, I think I gotta be careful. The little guy might jump up and punch me in the knee.
Ooh. All right.
I used to be a warrior until I took a Scott to the knee.
There you go. Insult Scott Part 2. If you have your own, go ahead and post it on Facebook. I'll read it.
I just want to point out, Scott did write these.
Yes, he did.
I'm calling you out, Scott.
Yes, he did.
All right, little message for the two of you.
Oh, no! We suck again!
All right, just a little payback there. All right, few news headlines, just a few of them. We won't torture too much. Don't forget today's show, joining us at 8 o'clock, we're going to have the mayor. He's got the lowdown on the Winter Festival coming your way. Mm-hmm. All right, we covered that comment, so don't ask me any questions about it. Got it? All right.
You already know all you need to know.
That's right. A little more news on that 6-year-old who shot the Virginia teacher in class. This is very concerning. It says staff warned administrators at the elementary school 3 times that a 6-year-old boy had a gun and was threatening other students hours before he shot and wounded the teacher. But the administration was paralyzed by apathy, according to the attorney, and didn't call police, remove the boy from class, or lock down the school. I believe the principal has already resigned.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So there was apparently plenty of opportunities to stop that.
Wow.
Scary that a 6-year-old would have the wherewithal to even pull that off and bring a loaded gun to school.
Yeah. Downright scary.
All right, worried about monopolies? So is the Justice Department, and they are going after Google, just announcing a lawsuit over its purported domination of online advertising. DOJ says it intends on breaking up Google.
Wow. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
Yeah, there's probably a few others they should be looking at too. Yeah.
Yep.
Razzie Awards are out, and they're taking heat this year. Past winners of the Razzies. Now, are you guys familiar with the Razzies?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's
Sorta.
like the opposite of the Academy Awards. It's like the worst in film. Past winners of Razzie Awards: Tom Green, Halle Berry, and even Sandra Bullock, which kind of
Wow.
surprises me. Yeah. More recent years, however, the Razzies have lost both pop culture and goodwill of cinephiles. They say it's time. Some people are saying it's time to retire them. Part of it is what they just did. The latest controversy came Monday when the Razzies selected the 12-year-old Firestarter actress Ryan Kiera Armstrong among their list of nominees for the worst actress of the year. A 12-year-old.
A kid?
A kid.
That's just bad taste.
It is.
That is bad taste.
Very
Poor
bad
taste.
taste. Wow. So maybe they should go away, right?
Yeah.
All right.
You know, I just want to point out, I am like crazy over the moon excited about Ki-Hai Kwan potentially winning this Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. You know, Data, Short Round.
Okay.
He's the favorite to win Best Supporting Actor for the movie Everything Everywhere at Once. Did I say that? I don't know if I'm saying that right, but
I think you did.
I am over the moon excited, and he's excited, and him and Brendan Fraser could both possibly win Oscars this year in both of their comeback year.
Wow. You did really good saying that title, and I think it's because it's confusing.
Yeah, I do that. I did see that movie in the theaters when it first came out, and it was just blew me away. It was amazing. Phenomenal movie.
All right,
Silly.
Senator Manchin has an easy fix for the debt ceiling. He wants to raise Social Security for rich people, what they have to pay in.
Huh.
I wonder how that's going to go over.
Huh.
Probably not as well with the rich people, I would imagine.
Rumors are the rest of the Republican Congress is going to kick him out. All
The
right.
rest of the rich people.
Let's see. You know, though, that white supremacist that had lunch with Trump and Kanye West and made some news headlines and stuff. Yesterday, without a bunch of attention, Elon Musk reinstated him to Twitter just to have to pull him off 24 hours later.
Go figure.
Yeah. What was he doing? He was talking about Adolf Hitler really well. And, his typical stuff. So, All right. So, it's at least he wasn't there for long. All right. That wraps up news headlines. On to bits and breaks this morning, guys. First one, let me get there, and I'll give you guys a chance to get there too, maybe. First one, killer quotes for this morning. Human beings are works in progress that mistakenly think they're finished.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. The more stuff you do, the more you give luck a chance to find you. Oh,
That's true.
wow.
Or bad luck.
Or bad luck.
Just
that.
you, Chuck.
Well.
Sorry.
Cinderella story comes from behind.
Ooh, I know that one. Ooh. One of the greatest challenges of loving leadership is the willingness to abandon your demand for a comfortable and predictable life and to find greater joy in meeting the needs of others. Do you think there's a politician out there doing that?
No.
Okay.
No.
What? What?
Yeah, I don't think so either. All right, this one's for Chuck. Gross things that people left a relationship for. Things that were just too gross to stay in a relationship. These will be disgusting, I'm sure.
So these are pulled off the internet. One person says, I showered at his place after staying over and I asked for a towel. He gave me one which had literal skin flakes on it. I asked for a clean one and he asked what I meant. He did not realize that you need to wash those towels. Wow.
Maybe he had a tiny washer.
Gross.
It's disgusting.
Next one here. I went away with my ex and saw his toothbrush for the first time. It had black mold growing on it, and the bristles were so flat the toothbrush had a middle parting. I had a conversation with him about hygiene and told him to get a new toothbrush. But when I stayed at his house 2 weeks later, the moldy toothbrush was still there, so I ended it.
Ew.
You know, it would have made it a little bit worse if she would have bought him a new toothbrush, and then he still continued to use the old one.
I like this one. Oh, That's like have you ever had a soda from like a soda fountain, and it's got that moldy taste, like they need to clean their lines or they left chemicals in it? I'm guessing that's what it tastes like when she kissed him.
Yeah.
It tastes a little bit like vinegar. You had that one?
Ew.
No.
Yeah.
That's a hard pass.
The next one was he was on trial for manslaughter, and I didn't even know until he was found guilty. And on top of that, he then continued to try to call me from jail.
Hey, baby, I killed somebody, but it was an accident.
Yeah, at least it makes it easier to ghost somebody, at that point.
Yeah.
Dahmer, party of one.
Oh,
Your meal's ready.
Wow.
Sorry. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Do you happen to like fava beans?
All right.
And the last one here, guy says she told me she never cleaned up cat puke. She'd simply waited and let the dog eat it. And then once the dog got old and blind, she would then lead the dog to the cat barf.
Oh. Some people shouldn't have pets.
Do you know how hard we have to work to keep our dogs away from that kind of stuff?
Bet you $10 she let that dog kiss her face, too.
Yeah.
Try having a yard full of turkey poop.
All right, here comes Alan Wani to try and prove to us that we feel smarter after a few beers. Good luck, Alan.
So, you want to know why we feel smart after?
Yes.
It's due to buffalo theory.
Okay.
So a herd of buffalo, buffalo wings maybe. A herd of buffalo can move only as fast as the slowest buffalo. When the herd is hunted, it's the slowest and weakest ones at the back that are killed first. This natural selection is good for the herd as a whole because the general speed and health of the whole group keeps improving by the regular killing of the weakest members. In much the same way, the human brain can only operate as fast as the slowest brain cells. Excessive intake of alcohol, we all know, kills brain cells, but naturally it attacks the slowest and weakest brain cells first. In this way, regular consumption of beer eliminates the weaker brain cells, making the brain a faster and more efficient machine. That's why you always feel smarter after a few beers.
Thank you, Alan Maloney.
I'm glad I could contribute.
Wow, almost sounded real.
Almost.
All right. A few misleading names. For example, did you know that Hawaiian pizza was invented in Canada? All right. Really? Really?
That's why it has Canadian bacon.
Oh, that's a good point. Let's find out. All right. First up, German chocolate cake invented by a guy named Sam German. It's not a German dessert. Really?
I'm so disappointed.
Ford Mustang, often thought to be named after a horse, but the name for the Mustang was originally suggested by a Ford engineer who had an interest in the P-51 Mustang fighter plane, which sounds much cooler.
I was just gonna say that makes it cooler.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
But when they did the ponies, they actually had a horse on the Mustang. So now I'm confused.
Right.
Yep, me too.
All right. Portland, Oregon isn't named because the city has a port. It's named after Portland, Maine, which is just down the road, a couple hundred miles.
That's
plagiarism.
It is. So
that's pretty lame.
We were
first. It does
first.
have a port.
But it does have a port?
It does, doesn't it? I think so.
Portland?
Yeah.
Both of them do. Portland, Maine, and Portland, Oregon.
Yeah.
All right. Buffalo wings aren't named after an animal. It's the city of Buffalo, New York.
I did know that one.
Yeah. Next, we'll find out it's actually people from Buffalo.
Oh, no.
Buffalo wings is people
that drink too much Red Bull.
Yeah.
All right. Color orange is named after orange, the fruit, not the other way around.
Huh.
All right.
Do we know that for sure?
I don't know. But you know what orange is in German?
Orange?
Yes.
Orange.
And most other languages, it's still orange. All right. Baby Ruth Bar was named for Ruth Cleveland, the company's president's daughter, not Babe Ruth, the baseball player.
My life is officially shattered.
Yes. French fries are actually from Belgium, But the American soldiers stationed there thought they were French since they were speaking French. And as
correction, those are freedom fries.
Freedom.
Palm frites.
Freedom fries. All right. As for the Hawaiian pizza, Sam Panopoulos. Panopoulos. I don't know. That guy who was born in Greece and moved to Canada when he was 20 decided to try out pineapple on pizza in 1962 to attract customers to one of his restaurants. Panopoulos said he and his brothers enjoyed the contrast between the pineapple sweetness and the savory flavor of the ham also added to the pizza. They named it Hawaiian after the brand of canned pineapple used on the pie. And now you know everything.
Nice. And the world became a brighter place because pineapple does belong on pizza.
That's right.
I said what I said.
I like it too. It's one of my faves.
Doesn't that conflict with the first story? Oh, no, it says Ontario based. Okay. We're in line.
Yeah. That's Canada, buddy.
Yep. Yep, I'm with you.
But it was a Greek guy, so does that make it only half true?
Yes. All right.
Yes.
His dogs haven't barked and interrupted the show yet, but it's dog stuff with Chuck Ritchie.
All right. I'm sorry, but are we on today's now?
We're still in bits and breaks, buddy. Did you get lost? He did get. We went through this before the show, and he still got lost.
And I told you I was drinking my coffee. And
it's the story right after misleading names.
Yeah, but on a different tab.
I love Thursdays.
I know, right? So,
we go to a commercial break now, so Chuck can catch up.
No, I'm here. I'm there.
Okay.
So it's estimated that the family dog is the cause of at least 150 family disagreements a year.
What?
That's per dog, too.
Per dog, right? Yikes. Of all the money they spend on their dog, 56% is for food and treats. I can see that.
Yeah.
Evidence suggests that a dog's sense of smell is sensitive to pheromone produced by humans in a state of fear, giving some credence to the adage that dogs can indeed smell fear.
All right. Maybe that's why they get amped up if you're feeling like you're in a dangerous situation. Maybe that's why your dog gets its hackles up too. That explains a lot. Thank you, Chuck.
Maybe. Or like when a car drives by. Or a leaf falls out of a tree.
They smell that.
Somehow it has the same sense. It says here cats have twice the sense of smell of dogs, but cannot easily be trained to use it.
So I used to travel with Mooch the cat back and forth to my property in Kettle Falls when I had it. And she could be asleep on the chair. And as soon as we came into Chihuahua, she would wake up and stand on the dash and watch all the way to the house, which leads me now to believe Chihuahua has its own scent. All right.
I have my own individual odor.
Oh, so it's Alan.
They just smell Alan.
I have a bond with Mooch.
She did get particularly perky when we went by the carpet store. So
nice.
All right.
Police dogs have been used since the early 1800s.
Wow.
Humans share more DNA with cats than they do with dogs.
That's disappointing.
That explains why I prefer to go in the sand.
Wow. TMI, Scott.
Wow.
And very
Scott's out there digging in the yard.
all the time. All right, sorry.
This is kind of cool. All domestic dogs are descended from 9 wolves domesticated in Mongolia around 9000 BC.
Wow.
How could we possibly know that? I don't know. Three-legged
RT.
Yes.
Sounds made up.
It does. Three-legged dogs suffer less arthritis than their four-legged brethren.
Huh.
Wow.
What?
Sorry, dogs.
You're all going to the vet.
25% less.
It's for your own good. 25% less.
Is that what works? Okay, I get it now.
Wow. Last one here. Dogs and cats, like humans, are either right or left-handed. Or is that pod?
That would be pod.
Pod.
All right, Alan, bring up a topic here, and we'll see what cool things we can find out about it.
You want to talk about stuff that you flushed?
Yes.
I just read an article that said women don't like those auto flush toilets in public restrooms. Should I be reading this?
Yes.
Apparently,
Please keep going. Keep going.
Apparently, women drop things into the toilets, and if they move just the right way, the toilet flushes because it thinks they're done doing their thing. Next thing you know, whatever they dropped is gone. Women are flushing phones, makeup, and even credit cards.
Wow.
All right. So the topic is, what have you dropped in a toilet and did you flush it? Feel free to post that on Facebook too.
So many things.
Phone, that's the obvious one.
I don't think I ever have dropped anything in the toilet.
Well, you know, I spent a few years as an actual plumber.
Can you say that again, Alan?
I don't think I've ever dropped anything in the toilet.
There's medication.
Come on now. So you use a litter box too?
I don't get it.
Sorry.
Did you borrow some center root, Alan? I've got a bottle in the fridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a phone. That's all I've ever lost. You know, though, you guys will enjoy this along with the short jokes, though. I have a problem because I'm short. I sit down and the toilet just keeps flushing because it thinks no one's there.
Wow.
All right.
Can you kick your legs while you're sitting on the toilet, Scott?
You what?
Can you kick your legs while you're sitting on the toilet?
Sometimes.
Every time he goes, he gets a little kiss from Neptune.
You know, I will say I was a plumber at working on campus at a university in a college in my early 20s, and I was going on a date with a young lady who was my same age, but she was a student at the college. And before our date, I get a call saying that there was a problem with the plumbing in her dorm room. And so I thought, ooh, okay. And it turns out there was an actual problem with the plumbing in her dorm room. And without getting into too much detail, the date never happened.
He must have been so disappointed.
Because of the embarrassment that she suffered from what was in her toilet.
Oh.
Another story Chuck should have never shared. Thank you, Chuck.
Yeah. TMI.
Yeah.
I tried to hold back.
No, you didn't. Well, here's a little motivation.
You can do it!
So try next time. Okay.
Wow.
I can't remember the one he did last week. I actually pushed it out of my mind on Friday. I don't know. It was cringeworthy. Thank you, Chuck, though. Because sometimes people just need to cringe and go, oh, wow.
I remember it.
Okay. You were listening? All right.
Yeah.
4 things you didn't know yesterday as we wrap up the segment. The name of the ship aboard which Francis Scott Key wrote the Star-Spangled Banner was the Minden. All right. Bet you didn't know that. Average shopping mall Santa weighs 256 pounds.
Oh, them cookies.
Those are rookie numbers.
25% of American men say they are coerced into cuddling. Oh. All
What?
right. Raise your hand if you like to cuddle.
Wait, what?
Alan just raises his hand anyway.
Who doesn't like to cuddle?
And along with, since it said 25%, remember, 3-legged dogs have 25% less arthritis. Wow. All right. Worldwide, 374 trillion individual sticks of gum are sold each year, but only 364 trillion end up on the bottom of tables. Huh. So where's the other trillion? Trillions. All right, we're going to break. When we come back, it's Mayor McCunn. He's going to give us the lowdown on our Winterfest, which is just a few days away. Stay right here. We're going to thank the sponsors, and, of course, we give you a little news, too. We'll be back with Mayor Gregory McCunn. Stay right here. It's KCHW 102.7.
Awesome.
Good morning. Can you see me? Hear me?
Why can't I hear you? Hold on a second.
All right, check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Check 1, 2, 3. I can hear you. I should play something. I'll feed some audio. Can you hear me now?
There we go.
All right. You're a little muffled, so and just remember when we're doing this, it goes out over Facebook, but it does not go out over the radio. You sound a little muffled. Are you using a? Do you have headphones in or anything like that? No, that's just your caller.
Yeah, no, I don't have any headphones in.
All right.
I don't have access. Does that sound any better?
Yeah. So just lean forward a little bit when you're talking.
Okay, sounds good.
And you're gonna talk. Sorry about yesterday.
Oh, that's all right.
And then you're going to talk about Winterfest, or do you want to cover anything else?
Well, there's always plenty to talk about. We could do update through kind of the 5 areas of priority. Lots going on in the business economic front. Progress and enforcement. Winterfest would be celebrations, and then I've got a couple updates for youth.
Okay. All right. Are you comfortable giving us an update on the Chewelah Police?
Yep. That's part of my enforcement piece. Yeah.
All right. All right. I'm going to send the news back down the line. There's like a minute and a half left of one little news break, and then there's like a 3-minute news break, and it'll be us.
Awesome.
All right.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Over raising the debt ceiling, I have news for him. He absolutely will negotiate.
Paul says the greatest threat to national security is the national debt and that it will take compromises by both parties to balance the budget. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy says he is standing by troubled Representative George Santos of New York.
I do not have the power, simply because if I disagree with somebody or what they have said, that I remove them from elected office.
McCarthy says Santos would be removed from his position should the House Ethics Committee find he broke the law after he admitted to fabricating much of his background. 2023 has already seen a record number of anti-transgender bills in state houses across the country.
The media calls it cultural war legislation, but to us in Oklahoma, we call it common sense.
Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt says his state's passage of anti-transgender sports and bathroom legislation is a roadmap for other states to follow. So far this year, more than 150 anti-transgender bills have been introduced in at least 25 states. Meta, the owner of Facebook and Instagram, has announced it will reinstate former President Donald Trump's access to the social media platforms. The company suspended Trump's accounts following the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol, stating his post could potentially incite more violence. I'm Catherine Carley for Pacifica Network and Public News Service. Find our 8 trust indicators to support transparency and accuracy at publicnewsservice.org.
For the Daily Yonder and Public News Service, this is the news from rural America. The population of rural America is growing again after the recent decade-long loss. Since the pandemic, a third of non-metro counties actually gained population, according to research by the Journal of Rural Sociology. Daily Yonder data journalist Sarah Malott says growth was most pronounced in counties like Powder River, Montana, where recreational activities are a major part of the economy.
So people then associate these places with a higher quality of life.
If the trend continues, Malott says net migration will be significant.
And we could expect rural America to grow by 1.3% by 2030. That's actually 23% higher than the projected urban rate.
One town in Iowa has found success with other attractions. Here's Anya Slepian.
The first decade of the 2000s was not kind to Newton, Iowa. The appliance company Maytag was bought out, and when their headquarters closed, 2,000 jobs went with it. Then the housing bubble burst. When no new building permits were issued in 2011, Bruce Showalter, the housing director for the Newton Housing Development Corporation, knew the town was in trouble.
If you're not building new houses or upgrading your housing stock, then you're dying. So if we didn't do something, the city was going to just deteriorate and continue to lose population.
So Newton created a new housing initiative, which provides a $10,000 cash incentive to anyone building a home worth $190,000, as well as a subscription to the local newspaper and a YMCA membership. In the past 9 years, more than 100 homes have been built, helping grow Newton's economy as well as its population.
Half of those houses have been sold to new people moving to town. So we're actually drawing people to town because of this program.
More than 50 other rural communities offer incentives, from free building lots and cash payments to complimentary dinners and internet credits. I'm Anya Slepian.
And younger people are moving back or staying in some areas. Sociologist Ben Winchester at the University of Minnesota believes the brain drain narrative no longer fits.
If rural America is dying, then why can't I find a home to buy?
In the decade following the year 2000, Winchester's research noted a significant uptick in 30 to 49-year-olds, contributing to a form of brain gain in most of Minnesota's rural counties.
Rural is not dying. The narrative we're using is terrible and is based out of things that happened like 50 or 100 years ago.
Journalist Nick Foriezos from Open Campus Media looked at the Minnesota data and noted the outsized role of community colleges and their ability to adapt to local needs.
When you look at the rural areas that are really succeeding and thriving, they usually find a way to take the strengths that they have and to think creatively.
For the Daily Yonder and Public News Service, I'm Roz Brown. For more rural stories, visit dailyyonder.com.
Broadcasting from beautiful Chewelah, Washington, this is Northern Lights Public Radio, KCHW 102.7.
And just that fast, we're back. It's KCHW 102.7 Northern Lights Public Radio. Welcoming to the show, it's our mayor, Gregory McCunn. Welcome, Gregory, and thanks for showing up. And a big apology for, we've never dropped a guest, but that happened to you yesterday.
Dissing the mayor at KCHW, yeah, that'll go on my list. Oh, that's fine. I get it.
All right.
And you've made the list, Scott.
Yeah, I know. I'm in trouble now. You know, that's it is the first time I think that's happened where we had a guest and we had to cancel on him, so I felt really bad. And then you actually probably picked the worst day possible to like come on the air with us because it's Lowbrow Thursday with the three amigos.
No, this is the best day possible.
What's wrong with that? Is this bad, Chuck Allen? Do I have something to be worried about?
No, not at all.
All right.
We'll be on our best behavior.
And my dog is wondering why he's lost one of his legs. So, you know, that's what I learned from the earlier segment. And then got way more data from the earlier segment on toilets. So anyway, I'm feeling like I'm an informed citizen of Chewelah.
Oh, no, he was listening. All right. Well, I don't know if you've met him, but Alan Milani from Chewelah Floor and Wall right below you on the screen there. And then Chuck Ritchie down on the bottom. I'm sure you met Chuck before.
Absolutely.
All right. And Chuck is the guy that keeps flying that drone with the camera at your office window.
Excellent.
Sorry.
No, that's shotgun in today. So we'll take
I'm just curious, you know.
Did he actually work in there, right?
All right, so let's start off with the fun stuff because I know you got some other stuff you're going to share with us, but that's what I was teasing, and that's what's coming up for Chewelah on February 4th.
February 4th. So the background is, you know, after 48 years of Chautauqua and going through a lot of conversations with citizens who really loved that celebration, the outcome was to try to develop seasonal celebrations that would really center around what you might call the Chewelah brand. You know, what are we about? Outdoor recreation. We're about golfing. We're about art, horseback riding, all sorts of things. And so I'm working with a fantastic team of people to put together, you know, what that looks like. So you always feel like you're building the plane as it goes down the runway, these first goes, but Fall Fest exceeded all of our expectations. And for Winter Fest on February 4th, beginning at 10 a.m. in Chewelah, city streets are going to be closed down because it's going to be mobs of people. We've got a program that's going to run 10 a.m. into the evening. That's going to kick off with some announcements and other events for about a half an hour. And then at 11 o'clock, we'll begin the first one of two primary events, skioring over behind Mountain Market. So if you or your listeners have not Googled skior, Skijor, it began, I believe, in Norway, and it is essentially a skier pulled by something. Now, in the West, that skier is pulled by a horse, but 49 degrees north does dog skioring. And we're going to bring it down into our town. So right behind Mountain Market on Main in the field, there's been 2 practice sessions the last few weeks. Melody Riders is coordinating the event. They've got 7 of their best horsemen and women. And then 49 degrees north, Eric Bach and his hand-selected skiers. And I'll tell you what, if the actual event's half as fun as the practices, everybody watching is really, really going to enjoy it. So it's a round course. And that course, as the horse runs on the inside of the track, the skier is on the snow on the outside. And they have to hit a slalom course while going over jumps and going around bends and berms. And it's going to be a timed competition. So pretty fun stuff.
All right.
So that'll run from 11 to 1 o'clock. And then there'll be about an hour transition time. Downtown will be much like Fall Fest. You're going to see tents. You're going to see indoor, outdoor vendors. We're actually a great creative idea to take those vacant storefronts, open them up, let vendors get inside, get some life moving in those buildings and some more exposure. Creative District is going to have art activities going on at the Huff building. And our Boy Scouts troop is putting together kids events and activities that will happen on the west side of City Hall. And simultaneously, you'll get around this small burg by Tim Dollar driving the hay ride. We'll call it a sleigh hay ride. That's going to shuttle people around and be a fun feature to this. So after that transitional period, we're going to move over in the spirit of really establishing our lifelong relationship with 49 degrees north. Winterfest is really an opportunity to do that. They're deeply involved in skior. You're going to see the 49 blue on the skiers behind the horses. But at 1 o'clock, we're going to kick off Rail Jam. We're actually going to bring down, 49 is going to bring down a legit Rail Jam competition on the east side of City Hall. It would be next to the fire station. So if you drive by there right now, you're just going to see mounds and mounds like 20 feet tall of snow because the city, instead of putting it over by Quartzsite Loop, has been dumping it right there in preparation for this Rail Jam. And that's going to be a full-on competition, just like they have up at the mountain. You're going to see over the next 2 weeks machines moving in to start to build that course. It's going to be really, really exciting. Then the evening will begin following that event, kind of leveraging indoor and outdoor. We're going to kind of use the Civic Center. We'll have a beer gardens, music. I think we've got 4 different musicians throughout the day. So every main event is going to have live music of different genres playing, and it's really going to be a palpable atmosphere. I mean, we've all maybe seen on YouTube crowds around Rail Jam activities. They're pretty intense, that X Games feel. Even people who don't go up to ski really get a kick out of watching something like that. And when you do Google skior, you'll be shocked how popular this is. We got into it, and the Melody Riders were so excited that some of them signed up for the national competition in Whitefish, Montana this weekend.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I grew up in Alaska, and the skijoring with dogs was really, really popular. It was a leisurely activity people did on the trails. So yeah. No, it's not leisurely, but yeah.
Right. At least leisurely is relative.
A hobby activity, and it was a lot of fun. A lot of people did it.
But in Alaska, they use poodles.
Masculine, yeah.
Sorry. All right.
No, and if I could, one of the things that I just want to say, like the fall, I'm using the Fall Fest, for example. It was a wonderful event. I really, really enjoyed that. But the thing that I'm excited about is seeing that growth, year to year, and seeing how these events really start evolving. And I'm excited. It's fun to see life happening again. you know.
We are too. And that was, there's high points as you get to sit in my seat of for all the good work that's being done, there's really high points that I think kind of put a flag in the ground of this is the right direction. And, standing at that beer garden at Fall Fest with thousands of people in town, and they came to enjoy who we are. I'll give you my favorite quote came from Sharon Ludwig. We were doing the debrief after Fall Fest, and we talked about all the events, talked about things we do differently. And at the end, Sharon was deeply involved in Chihuahua. So when she speaks, we really listen. And she said, you know what I liked most about Fall Fest? It was about Chihuahua.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Amazing how you've got this next event planned, because they're quarterly, so they come up quick. How you got it planned so fast, and how many people jumped on board to turn it into something huge.
Right. Well, and Michelle Williams, Justice Ram get a great call out because they've been facilitating this from event planning space. So really thankful to them. We're trying to create the infrastructure that's sustainable long term, and transparently, we're trying to assess, can we really do 4, right? Because here we are in February doing Winterfest. Well, are we going to do Springfest?
Right around the corner.
Right. And I believe that we could get good enough at it that's realistic. But it's impressive what is being accomplished, and it's proof that we have a community that really wants to engage, celebrate who we are, why we're here, and kind of show that off to others. And I think, kind of pride of ownership is something that's really driving a lot of that. And we have a lot to be proud of in Chihuahua.
Yeah.
Well, I know with Fall Fest and even with the I want to call it a Christmas festival, I know you guys were surprised at the turnouts of these events. So you definitely have the support. It's that if you build it, they will come kind of thing, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you're right.
All right. So, you have any other notes on Fall Fest there?
Or Winterfest?
Or Winterfest, sorry.
Well, let's see. Get the word out. In these early stages, we have a whole marketing campaign. We're getting a lot of attention on social media. But if every listener, pinged a friend in Spokane and just shared, you can go to Chihuahua Festival Association on Facebook. Grab that link, share it with your friends, share it on your posts. That's the best advertising we got, and the multiplication factor is intense. And it really plays a much bigger part in generating an awareness of all that's special to come and enjoy in Chihuahua. So everybody can play a part in that.
All right. You had some other goodies from the city you wanted to share with folks, didn't you?
Yeah. So I'm going to I'm kind of the beating drum. I made some commitments to stay focused when I became mayor, and that hits 5 areas. And the first of those is business economic development. So I'd like to give some updates across each of those. We did a lot of work. The chamber and the city in partnership invested with downtown retail strategies to try to develop a 5-year revitalization vision for our town. And there's 4 different groups that emerged out of that. Stephanie Westhoff is leading the design group, and I'll just go over kind of what each group is working on right now. Again, to our partnership with 49, they donated 10 of the old lift chairs to the city. And so the design group, working with a large team of people, is endeavoring to fashion benches for our community that would be benches/bike racks, which would become really a design feature, and again, further establish us as a skiing community. So that's a really exciting and very unique approach they're taking. And then the other item on their early term priority list, there's longer term stuff I'll save for later. They're looking at kind of artistic designs for the sidewalks and crosswalks in our core business areas, which can really add a splash of color. It brings forward, the creative talent we have in our community, and puts it right at your feet. So that's going to be something pretty cool that they're driving forward with. Policy administration, that's one I lead. That's the really exciting subject. No, it actually is. It's a big enabler, right? Because you're talking about how do you as a community, as a city, create business incentives for the right kind of growth. And so one of the tasks we're doing is trying to take a commercial inventory. You know, you never really sit back and say, well, how many businesses do we have? What is the status of those businesses or the real estate at least? How many vacancies do we have? Why are they vacant? What can we do to help? So we're doing that inventory. We've already launched well into the direction of creating a facade improvement program, and that's a beautification effort, but we're going to be approaching City Council and looking at other funding sources where the city would provide a match for facade beautification. So take 207 East Main. Brian and his wife are, they're building up the golf course. They're going to renovate 207 East Main. Well, they could approach the city if they wanted to do some facade work and have, kind of a 50-50 match scenario that would offset some of their costs. Let them know. We welcome, people who are investing in our community, and it's a really tangible way to support that. And then I guess the last piece, if you drive through Colville and you look at some of the features that they have there that are very beautiful, well done, well kept, most of that came out of Colville Together and was called a Main Street program. And that is something we've just engaged the Main Street program leadership on to look at the intersection points and the different ideas we could leverage here in Chewelah to move the needle forward. There's business tax incentives that if they kind of give to the business district for improvement, they can have tax write-offs, all sorts of very cool, creative ways to create money. And a lot of time that's where the heavy lift is, right? You can have all the ideas in the world, but you got to get the funding to do it. So good work going on there. Mike Bentz has been leading the tourism promotion group, and they are really going to be helping to shape as a component of the chamber marketing. How do these festivals look 4 or 5 years down the road? What is our pattern? Is there really 4? Is there 5, or is it 3 solid and some smaller ones? And they're also keeping us tightly tied to the great work that Tri-County Economic Development is doing for overall tourism promotion. Shelley Stevens has been leading that effort now for a couple of years, and really thinking with a broad perspective. We're better together, right? I mean, we love Chewelah. We love the Chewelah brand, and that's who we are, and that's what we're super proud of. But we're part of a bigger family, and Ted is really doing an admirable job of looking at that whole, extended family and saying, how do we win together? How do we drive tourism based on the opportunities we have, and plug every community into that? So it's a fun partnership. They do great work. We have a lot of Chewealians in that group at TED. Some of our best minds are working with them on that stuff too. So the tourism promotion group is helping us there. Outside of that, on business economic, I still counted. I was listening to a couple of the advertisements or the news reports from the Daily Yonder. I was talking about rural community growth in America, and they were projecting by 2030 a 1.3% growth, which doesn't sound like a very big number, but that's 23% higher than predictions 5 years ago.
Wow.
So, I think if you kind of take a sense for the atmosphere, I think you can feel that and more in Chewelah. We've got 2 developers who are very interested in Chewelah. What I like most about them is they bought property in Chewelah, they're building homes in Chewelah, and they want to invest in Chewelah. That is really an exciting and unique opportunity for us. So we have a real housing need. We need to address that, and the developers that are looking at us would play a big part in that development. So we're doing all we can to support that for the betterment of the community. New Health University, which is in negotiations with our school district for the old middle school on Park Street. That is continuing forward. I mean, it's just perseverance on both parties, both sides, to see how they can get this done. If successful, that will be not only a medical facility to improve access to medical care, dental care in our community, it'll be an educational hub. It literally will be New Health University. And Desiree Sweeney and her team have been had this vision for a long time, and that middle school is the perfect location. So there's negotiations going back and forth how to make that happen, but it's going well, I've heard, talking to Jason Parents. So nice. Something to keep an eye on. And then the last update is the Casino Hotel. I'm hearing the open date for that is likely May 1st. So anytime you hear a date, add a month to it, and you're probably in the ballpark. Yeah, I mean, it's a big endeavor, supply chain issues that everybody's suffering from. They're doing a great job. I hope everybody's pleased. I mean, the city council approved the color palette from Downtown Strategies. And if you look at the casino hotel colors, they're on the palette.
That's
it's
funny.
Really cool.
Yeah.
I was telling Chairwoman Evans about that. We were both laughing about how we're just that good a partner. So
Well, I like that goal of keeping everything uniform too, and like you're talking about with the facade assistance, because Chihuahua's. I've said it a bunch of times during interviews with people and Mayor Dorothy too. Is looking back at from when I grew up here and I left, and when I grew up here, Chihuahua wasn't a very nice looking town. As you drove into it, it looked like a small bomb had went off, and destroyed half the town, and it's went through over the past decade this massive transformation. But if you have one business on that downtown corridor, if you have one business that's a holdout, and let's say, and I'm not pointing fingers or naming anybody, I'm just using a for instance, and you have one building that looks ran down, it can take away from the whole feeling of the downtown area. And I'm sure it's the same thing that probably like Winthrop or Leavenworth or you've got to get all the business owners and property owners really on the same page. And that's not an easy thing. And I think that's a great thing to have a match program out there to make it, maybe they can't afford to upgrade the facade of that building. So that's a great program. And I think you were spot on about the growth of rural communities and Chihuahua being a little different. And we saw that so many small towns suffered during the first year of COVID in 2020. But Chihuahua had a 14% increase in revenue, if I'm remembering the number correctly, during that pandemic, as far as people shopping local. And people that live in Chihuahua, we even though I've moved away, I still a very strong bond to Chihuahua, obviously. Yeah.
You bet. You bet.
All right. So what other city stuff you got on your list there?
The other bucket is law and municipal code enforcement is the other priority that we care about. We have our two new police candidates in academy right now and doing very well, making the city proud. They'll be in academy for the next few months, and then once out, they have a short turn of some field training, and then they're live and good to go. So we'll be almost fully staffed. This coming week, Lord willing, we're burning it at both ends. We're trying to get the new chief of police posted so that we can start interviews to fill that position. Interim Chief Dave Watts has been doing an exceptional job, which ties me actually into the other side of it, and that has to do with our fire department. Working with Colby Dollar, they have been able to, for cities to get capital improvements like trucks and machines and everything like that is, a really important decision because you are making trade-off decisions based on the money you have. And so we were in need, because we have an airport, of a unique kind of fire truck. And those fire trucks need to be equipped to be able to handle the unfortunate event, hopefully that never happens, of a crash at an airport, which means you've got to have foam. So that creates a bunch of questions, all of which are super expensive. And working through the different channels that are available to them, they were able to get the city, I want to say it's like a $300,000 airport fire truck. Like the whole truck for free.
Wow.
I saw that truck coming into town on the back of it, being hauled by a trailer. I was stepping out of Valley Road when it was coming down Main Street, and I was like, wow, that is beautiful.
It's an impressive machine. Truck. Very impressive machine, but they got it for free for the city. And then the other thing they did, working with our partners in DNR, is they got us a new brush truck, which, again, is saving the city $80,000 to $100,000 for a well-maintained brush truck, the DNR surplus. So we've improved and not had to spend a dollar because of some good work by our team leadership.
Wow. So with that foam truck, would that be assistance too? I was reading something a few days ago. It was a news story, and it was talking about communities having a problem with these electric cars when there's an accident and one of those batteries catch on fire, that you cannot put water on it and get it to go out. Will this foam truck help with those kind of situations too?
You know, I would speculate that it would, but I'd leave it to the pros to say definitive yes. That would make a lot of sense. But yeah, it's a good question. We should find out the answer. I hope they do, because I watched the videos of those things on fire, and it's a long night.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else? Anything? Go ahead, Chuck.
Sorry. Well, I wanted to say something that I saw that I'm actually really happy about, being, you know, someone coming from sort of the more digital generation. That's been a frustration so far, is that now, as of the end of the month, your bills, your utility bills through the city will be available online, to be able to go to the website and view your balance and pay your bill online. And I'm excited by that.
Very cool. Very cool. Thanks for bringing that up. Yeah, that was one of the conversions to kind of bring us into the 21st century for how we automate our city government. We still got a lot of work to do, but that's a good step forward. Thanks for mentioning it, Chuck.
Because it's like my one bill that's not digital, and it's the one bill I forget to pay every month.
And we want you to remember to pay that bill, Chuck.
Right? I want to remember to pay it, because that late fee sucks.
Yeah, not saying they don't like your late fees, Chuck, but they want you to pay it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then I think just forecasting, while last year, you know, was a lot of rebuilding and refocusing from the law enforcement standpoint, you know, this year we're going to start to see more of a programmed effort around code enforcement. And, you know, if you do any bit of research about rural towns in America and kind of foundational things that you need to get right, and they all miss on this, is municipal code enforcement. So we're going to take a compassionate but confident approach towards enforcing the municipal code, but you're going to start hearing a lot about the program rolling out here in the next 2 to 3 months as we build out that structure and continue it forward into our future. So that'll make a big difference, I think, because we've got a lot of code violations that nobody ever calls out, and those just need to be remedied because they impact the city in a lot of different ways. And then I guess last piece, and I want to kind of put this out, I'll save my ask for last. We are launching what's called the Mayor's Task Force for Parks and Recreation. Larry Fetter, who grew up here lifeguarding at our swimming pool, spent 30 years in the Parks and Rec directorship field. He worked in communities along Puget Sound, which included Mercer Island, Parks and Rec. Finished his career in Hermiston, Oregon. If you spend any time in Hermiston, Oregon, the beauty that you see, the consistency of color, of branding, of their story as you travel through that town, the beautiful, beautiful park recreation facilities, skate park, all of that came out of the work that he led. He is now a resident back home in Chewelah, and has generously, you know, lifted his hand to use all of that experience to our benefit. So we're going to start what's called a Parks and Recreation and Outdoor Spaces planning process. We'll find out next week. We got the grant money, $95,000 to execute that. This will go forward regardless of that approval, but if we get that planning grant, it's going to have a much larger scope. You would never, you know, all of us have intersection points with Parks and Rec Department. You know, I thought of it as programs on Saturday morning that I'd run over to the park to participate in with other kids. But it is so much more expansive than that. You know, it touches on community centers. It touches on aquatic centers. It touches on gateways to our city and to our park. You know, the beautification, the artistic flair that says you've arrived somewhere, and this is an artistic picture of why it's important. All the way to senior centers. So I have learned a ton from Larry Fetter. He's a tremendous asset and has been a real accelerator for us to get our game on, which is going to have a dramatic impact across age groups, but certainly our youth. And then the last piece, and this is kind of stuff that just really touches my heart as mayor. I don't know if everybody knows it. I know a lot of people were involved 25 years ago when we built, when the first skate park was built. That effort was led by Dave Wallner.
Okay.
And many of your listeners are going to know that name because he's a lifetime contractor and community member and a really great guy. Sets up an appointment with the mayor, and a lot of times those appointments are to tell me what's wrong with the town. And he comes in and sits down and tells me the history of how he was involved, why he did it for his kids at the time, and that he wants to do it again.
And it's ready for a facelift, isn't it?
It is. Well, and I was remiss, Winterfest, it's now an ice skating rink. Please drive by at night. Our public works crew has skirted it with lighting. It is classic small town America, you guys. It's just beautiful. Nice. But for Winterfest, we're actually going to have ice skating there. And it looks like the temperatures are going to warrant it. But then after that, and hopefully this spring, I was talking to Dave, I'm going to write an article that will grab the history of our skate park, talk about the immediate need, and Dave has agreed to coordinate that, and then get into kind of putting that together. But the important component of this will be, if we're successful with the Parks and Rec and Outdoor Spaces work, which we will be, you know, we could be looking at a full-on legit skate park with bowls and such, you know, in the next three to 4 years. But in the interim, that's how we all have to think, right? Let's not just park it for 3 to 4 years and say, yeah, we'll get to the skate park eventually. The challenge to the team, and this is to active contractors, retired contractors, skateboarders, anybody who wants to throw in, and not just physically, but financially, to help get this off the ground so that we can give that back. But we're going to give it back in a way, one, it's fully modular, so you can take it down in the wintertime, so it's not just getting brutalized by the weather. 25 years is amazing what they built held up. But we're also going to challenge the team to build it with an eye to the future. So what the investment is now will be incorporated into building the new skate park, which will be a substantial asset as part of our overall Parks and Rec program. So really cool stuff emerging early on. And it's just, we have a generous, talented community. And when people step up and say, I've got talents and I'm going to put them to work for the behalf of the community, people rally to that. And I think this is going to be a great example of it. So much more to come. You're going to see some stuff in the paper in the next 2 weeks.
Well, good job, Greg. You know, I didn't know much about you when you ran for mayor, and you've went all in on everything. I'm just curious, how many hours a day do you work for Chewelah? Because you got a lot going on.
I try not to count, but honestly, it's a work of passion. I had some friends laugh at me when I was talking about friends who don't live here but know my former life, and I was talking about being mayor, and they said, "Greg, you sound excited about this," and it's true. I love the people I get to work with. I mean, you guys, it is so unique to be in a place of such beauty, such history, surrounded by people of such character and talent. And, you know, I have the honor of facilitating that space. I'm in. So, you know, I really don't count the hours. I got a great crew. I couldn't be more thankful for Jim. He's kind of the fulcrum point for, you know, city admin's a tough gig. You're taking it from all sides all the time. We couldn't have a better man for the job in our city administration, the staff here in City Hall, but across departments. Everybody's all in. So that's an inspirational place to work. So I'm not counting the hours, but I'm having a good time.
He does Jim does have Caruso does have a tough job because you're the brunt of that. I remember when Mike there was issues that came up of things that weren't true. And I went on the radio a couple times and just, you know, condemn people for spreading rumors and just being ornery or whatever. But you have done, you know, and I don't want to get off on any tangent like that, but you have done such a great job rallying people behind you too. A round of applause for Mayor Gregory McCunn. Keep working. We love it. We love it.
Yeah. Right. No, rumors in Chewelah? No.
Get out.
Say it isn't so.
And let's wrap it up. Tell us that date for Winterfest again.
February 4th, Chewelah Winterfest. It's one piece. Okay. One piece. This is a jump off point for us. So as many of your listeners know, Winterfest for the Arts has been going on for 4 years now. You know, Tim Nielsen had really branded the Winterfest for the Arts, and he generously kind of allowed us to pick up that brand for the community, another, you know, talented person stepping up to advance the cause. And so these two things are going to be going on simultaneously. His gallery will have the creative art side. Mountain Market on Main will have the photography show going on. I mean, it's so cool, all the timing. I keep telling Jim, as busy as we are and the challenges we face, we just have blessing after blessing fall in our lap. PACA's got a great program going on the day of Winterfest. It's going to be a really fun day. Please just, I want the word to get out. Be patient. We're closing down city streets, but it's for the good of the cause, and it's going to be a really fun day.
Skiers coming into town are going to go, what's going on?
Well, that's kind of the goal.
Yeah. And that's going to be a really busy week because you've got on the 2nd, you've got the first Thursday art walk that Tim hosts going on. Then Friday, opening night of Love Lies and the Doctor's Dilemma from the Chewelah Center for the Arts,
right.
And then Winterfest on Saturday. So that is going to be a fun. It's actually 3 days of events in Chewelah.
Yeah.
So
no, we got to hop in town. It's a good time.
And, too, as people come to town that might want to catch that play, it's on Saturday and Sunday as well. So great timing for everything. Great job pulling it together. One more time, a little bit of applause. Gregory McCunn, thank you, Mayor. All right. And we're equally appreciative that you joined the Three Amigos today.
I'm glad to do it.
Your honorary sombrero is in the mail.
Awesome,
Do you have any
guys.
t-shirts
Thanks for having me on.
All right. For us Three Amigos, we are going to wrap up the show with a couple things. Alan, if you will grab today's birthdays from the Lions Club calendar, that'd be appreciative. Celebrity birthdays today. Sports announcer Bob Uecker turned 88. Scott Glenn is 84. Ellen DeGeneres, 65. NHL legend Wayne Gretzky, the Gret, is 62. Andrew Ridgely from Wham is 60. Politician Kevin McCarthy, 58. Nate Mooney from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, 51. Jennifer Crystal from House, and once again is 50. And reality TV star Colton Underwood from The Bachelor and The Bachelorette is 31. And Alan Milani, local birthdays.
Today we've got Liz Fomek and Hannah Russ.
All right. And we missed yesterday. Do we have any belated birthdays from Wednesday?
Nothing on the 25th, sir.
All right. Round of applause for all of them and happy birthday wishes. And
can I take another minute to plug the play that's happening?
Yes,
I
would much sooner plug your play than do history before we go to odd news. So roll it out.
All right. So yeah, the play Love Lies and the Doctor's Dilemma. It starts the opening night is February 3rd. Runs the 3rd, 4th, 10th, and 11th. Regular show times are 7 p.m. The Sunday matinee, which is the 5th and the 12th, is at 2 p.m.
All right.
So that would be what was that? Friday, Saturday nights are 7 p.m. for 2 weeks, and then the Sunday matinee at 2 p.m. And if you want to come see me wearing a dress,
no
this
way,
is the time to do it.
No way, dress.
I do wear a dress and a wig through a fairly decent sized portion of the play.
Nice.
How's that different than any other day?
That's what I'm gonna say.
I mean, I'm on stage.
Usually, as soon as the show is over, the hat comes off, dress goes on. No, I'm kidding. All right, good job. And then tickets. If you want tickets for it, go to Chewelah Center for the Arts. Just Google it. Go to their website. There's a link right there. You can get some tickets online. Any rumor that you've heard tickets still available online?
I believe so. I haven't heard either way on how many tickets are available, but my assumption is there are still tickets available. So.
I grabbed some for Friday the 3rd, and I got mine. So I don't know what the situation is now, but don't wait because those online ones sell out first, and then you got to find out if there's some left for the door, which there usually is. So, all right, look forward to the show, Chuck, and here we go, wrapping things up.
Slap some bacon on a biscuit and let's go. We're burning daylight.
It's the world of strange. A world gone wacky.
Out here, due process is a bullet.
And some of the scariest people on the planet.
I think you're bluffing.
Be afraid.
You know, you look mighty pretty when you get mad.
It's your odd news on KCHW.
Just sit back and enjoy the show.
I so hope before I die I get to use that line on a lady.
Which one?
You sure look pretty when you're mad.
Oh.
I just want to see what kind of reaction you get from a comment like that.
I don't think it works. Don't think it works.
You think it works?
I don't think it works.
You don't think it works? Okay. Have you tried it, Chuck? Maybe you,
No
maybe
comment.
one of you, since you both have wives, could test it out. Okay, and then let
No
me know.
thanks.
All right, we're doing the news attack from today, Chuck. Wacky but true
Thank-
from yesterday. All right, just so you
Thank
can
you. Okay,
follow along
okay.
with the home game.
All right. I'm on it.
News attack. First part's true. Second sentence, always a bad joke. And Alan Milani kicks us off.
A survey of potential home buyers found they'd like to spend an average of $269,000. However, the current median home price is $388,000. Well, sure it is, if you need a roof and windows.
And carpet.
Ouch.
And carpet.
See, work that in. Come on.
There you go.
All right.
I love carpet.
Apparently. Let's see.
Oh,
Yes.
Speaking of Allie, I want to the play and carpet. Thanks again, Alan, for the donation of the carpet strips. It was exactly what we needed, just the right length.
You are welcome.
All right.
Yeah,
And you
yeah,
donated
appreciate
that?
I did.
Oh, now we all love carpet.
I love carpet.
Yeah.
Carpet.
Carpet. All right, Chuck.
It's Girl Scout cookie time. Well, I have already ordered my boxes of Chunky Fatties and Monster Belly Mints. Chunky Fatties. That's a great name for a cookie.
That is.
I love that. I would eat some Chunky Fatties.
That's
That
a
came out
great
wrong.
name. That's a great name for anybody overweight.
That was my nickname in high school.
Yeah. Donald Trump will be allowed back on Facebook and Instagram. Can't wait for the return of KFC food snapshots and McDonald's wrappers.
Burger King.
Burger King. Oh, that's right. All right. Let's see.
Hamburgers.
Back to Alan.
A survey found that about half of Americans don't like their food to touch on the plate. A small percentage of weirdos don't like their food to touch in their stomach.
So how do you guys feel about that? Can your food touch on the plate?
I really think it depends on the food.
I don't mind it so much, but I
You
go
know,
a
if-
little crazy when I have a shepherd's pie.
If you got a plate with like some collard greens and some cornbread, and you just let it flow, you know.
I hate anything runny that would run into the other food, you know,
Yeah.
especially if it could taint it. All right, Chuck.
All right. The government says that up to 10% of Americans like decent internet service. Not only that, but some Americans are still running their laptops on kerosene.
Woo! That one was
still
actually
using
good.
AOL.
Yeah, you saved all those discs you got in the mail.
Yeah.
And you're just burning through them. Okay.
Still free.
Speaking of yesterday, AT&T was having some problems here locally.
Yes.
Bad, terrible
You know,
service.
Chuck, you can stop the lie now, okay? Because I know that was just because you didn't want to take my call. I'm like texting him, and so this is too hard, and I go to call him, and it goes right to voicemail.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, you can text, you can take my phone call.
Well, that one I actually denied your call because I was in the middle of rehearsal. So,
Oh, really? Oh, so you were texting me during rehearsal. You hear that, Sharon?
Struggle is real.
yeah.
Catherine, were you listening? All right.
No, don't tell Catherine.
Too late. I just did. Let's see. I think it was Alan. So, and then Chuck. Is it me? No, it's Chuck. Roughly 4 and 10.
Is it me? Okay, I'll
Yeah,
go.
yeah, go.
Roughly 4 in 10 Americans say they want to vote from their computer or mobile device in the next presidential election, preferably in an app called Candy Crush. Election 2024.
Is Candy Crush still a thing?
I think it exists.
I've never even played it. I'm old school.
A few months ago, I tried to find Angry Birds again because it's probably been 10 years since I played that game.
Yeah.
And it is now one of those like in-app purchase games where you have to like pay to like get to the next level, and no.
Well, I tried to download it, and my phone said I was low on kerosene.
Nice.
All right. Research reveals that around 80% of vegetarians return to eating meat within only a year. Well, duh. It's hard to really say goodbye to meat. Popcorn shrimp is simply just another name for lightly battered crack.
Lightly battered crack.
Mm.
Yeah.
All right, Alan.
If you were wondering, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, and Barack Obama say they have no classified documents. However, Clinton has some very classified photos he'd rather you not ask about.
Sure he does. Yeah.
Brutal.
I bet he does.
Oh, wow, you're cruel. On to Wacky But True we go. And again, Chuck, this is Wacky But True from Wednesday. You with me?
Thanks, Scott. I appreciate that.
And you get to go
for this
first.
segue to let me give the time to get there.
Thank you.
This is actually right next to my wife's hometown, in Abilene, Texas. The Abilene Public Library in Texas has received a book that's 44 years overdue. Wow. The copy of Adventures of Tom Sawyer by Mark Twain was returned with an apology note by an anonymous borrower who had taken the book as a child. The library has decided to waive the overdue fee and instead add the book to its collection as a historical artifact.
Did some searching, and I found this guy, and here's what he had to say.
I'm very important. I have many leather-bound books, and my apartment smells of rich mahogany.
Rich mahogany.
Rich mahogany. Chuck, or no, Alan, sorry.
I don't know if you know this or not, but I'm kind of a big deal.
Oh, we know, Alan. You never shut up about it.
A government agency in Colorado received a surprise recently when it checked on a wildlife trail camera and found out that hundreds of photos captured, a majority of them were bear selfies. The Open Space in Montana Mountain Parks Agency of Boulder uses 9 trail cameras to keep tabs on wildlife across the 46,000-acre land system it oversees. The motion detecting cameras automatically capture photos and videos when animals wander into the frame. A couple of months ago, a curious black bear stumbled upon one of the cameras and spent time investigating it. Of the 580 wildlife photos captured, about 400 were bear selfies.
You mean actual bears, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was reading along with it, and I swore, because my eyes are not good and I'm not wearing my glasses, I thought it said barflies.
Barflies.
And how this story was going in a whole different direction.
Well, that's funny because I have a lot of barfly selfies.
Sorry.
Let's find out about those bears.
These bears are wild, mind you, not trained carnival bears with little tats.
Hey, boo-boo.
Uh-huh. All right. Michigan. Tanker truck overturned. Thankfully, it wasn't hauling anything dangerous. Just 12,000 gallons of milk, which will not be coming to your cereal bowl now.
Oh.
Imagine the smell.
I put this together for it, though.
I haven't even mentioned all the free yak's milk.
Wait, what did you say?
Yak's milk. Milking a yak ain't exactly a picnic. But you know, once you pick the hairs out, it's very nutritious.
No.
And how about a yak scream? You guys ever heard of yak scream?
No.
Okay.
A referee will back
At least those were the yaks from the new Thor movie. Which was the best part of the movie.
I thought that was Natalie Portman.
Oh! Ow!
Brutal.
And back to Chuck.
A man robbed a bank in Poland. He showed a bank teller a package and said he would make it blow up if she did not comply. Employees handed him some money and the man fled. Police found the guy not too far from the bank, and they determined the so-called bomb was a box full of tissue paper and birdseed.
I got this one too.
Man, get the seeds. Seeds? Why, man? They can't bust you for seeds.
It's from Cheech and Chong, if you couldn't tell. Want to hear it again? I do.
Man, get the seeds. Seeds? Why, man? They can't bust you for seeds.
Dave's not here, man.
Dave's not here. I'm Dave. And here's Chuck with, no, who is it, Alan or Chuck? I just got lost. Okay, thank you, Alan. I just want to go home.
In the UK, a police officer saw a driver veering across several lanes of a highway. He caught up and signaled for her to pull over. The woman had a dog on her lap, a cigarette in one hand, and a can of soda between her knees. There were also several other dogs in the back seat.
That sounds like Chuck's car.
Right?
Here's what the,
Not the cigarette.
Except for the cigarette, sounds like your car.
Yeah.
All right. Here's what the police officer had to say.
You weren't even born with the sense God gave the common dog.
All right, maybe not. All right. And
It's,
since
it's funny, people laugh all the time when I pull up to like a coffee shop or something because we have one of those metal grates in the behind the driver's seat of our Prius for the dogs.
Like it's a cop car?
Yeah.
No way.
It's pretty silly looking.
All right.
But it's to keep the dogs in the back.
In honor of all of your dogs, Chuck.
Hey, I'm Ricky Bobby.
And I'm Cal Naughton Jr.
We form an alliance on the racetrack to win races. But today we're forming an alliance to talk to you about a very serious, important issue. Packs of stray wild dogs that control most of the cities in North America. Remember, stray dogs are not your friend. However, if you see one, walk right up to it and lay down.
If it starts to sniff you, that's a good sign. If it begins to bite, you're in trouble, friend. Grab a pole.
A pole.
All right.
You know, coincidentally, the only way you can keep me in a Prius is to cage me and put me in the back seat too.
Woo!
A lot of people say that back there.
Yeah.
Chuck jogs a lot.
It's his new Uber car.
Yeah.
Chuck will take you anywhere you want in town in a cage. All right, that is our show for today. The Three Amigos. Thank you, two amigos.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
All right. Yeah, whatever.
Yay, friends.
Yay.
Oh, we suck again.
And just so everybody knows, this is the last week of Morning Show. I go on vacation for 2 weeks. So we will see you guys again on the radio and on Facebook and on YouTube in 3 weeks. So thanks so much for being here. And I'll get to see you in person. So that's awesome.
That is awesome. I'm excited.
That's our show for today. Keep on listening to KCHW 102.7 Northern Lights Public Radio.
Oh, no! We suck again!
No.
Every week.
I feel sorry for the mayor.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
I'm very important. I have many leather-bound books, and my apartment smells of rich mahogany.
You're listening to Northern Lights Public Radio on 102.7 KCHW.